Welcome inside the tape for round 2 in Poland. We've just finished uploading the preview video. Go check that out if you haven't seen it, because it doesn't look like this. I want you to see the contrast. It was dry this morning. There was dust hanging in the air. The track was fast and it was actually relatively easy. People were riding down, there was holes developing, corners were getting blown up, getting washed out, and people were taking different lines to miss the holes. It was fun, it was loose, and then it rained. In the afternoon, people were struggling, just trying to get their heads around the condition change. It's a lot of fresh bits of track. It hadn't been all ridden in, hadn't been compacted, and that dirt just turned to slime. Roots came out and it was just like, the track's like bipolar. Like, it is a huge change. So people are having to change their braking points, change their lines, and now people are having fun. Like, we saw some guys there and they're like, yo dude, this is so fun. So yeah, really cool track, but people are riding it very differently to how they rode it this morning. So let's have a look. How do you ride a track that's as slippy as this and ride it well? So this fresh section in the trees, it's kind of like lower 2/3 of the track, and oh my God, he's going really fast. Nathan, go on Nathan. Yes. This is a really fresh section, and quite often when tracks develop, what happens is the main line becomes the grippy part, because that's where it gets worn in. And that's what you want to aim for. And if you get out of that main line, you hit soft stuff, you hit unpredictable terrain, and like stuff like that happens. But then when it rains, the main line has firmer ground. And firmer ground, when it gets rain in it, you get grease. Oh, soft stuff gets grippier when it gets wet, hard stuff gets slippier when it gets wet. So the main line actually becomes slippier. Oh! I'm like on edge. So we've seen some people like getting out of the main line and getting in the loam, and it's actually grippier in the loam, but it's really hard to get to those places. And what happens is more people try to go wider and wider and wider and stay in the grippy stuff disappears and the slippy zone gets bigger and bigger. And then when you can't do that, you just have to aim for edges, aim for catches, because there's nothing holding you on the roots. So watch this, he's going to come in, hold it light, and then just cornered on the rut. He didn't try and turn on the roots. Turn on the roots isn't going to go well. He didn't do it down there though. So that crest down there, it's got like an adverse camber that starts the bike to slide, and then as you go over the crest, the tires go light, and if you start a slide and the tires go light, the bike just disappears. We've seen a lot of people do that already. It's an exciting track. Oh, yo, look at that. Yo! So like, see that? He was like, hi there. The guy was like, he almost ran over my toes. They're trying to get in the loam, and that's where there's grip. So yeah, this bit's sick. Oh! Disco, you dancing? Oh, this is on my phone, I'm not even watching. I mean, that looked quite easy. The other person two-wheel drifted. Maybe you just got to pedal. Is that the secret? You get more grip when you pedal. Oh, low guy. Low guy. Low guys. So yeah, this is like one of those sections that I don't know if there'll be a camera here. There will be, because there's a big timing blow up dildo thing. There's like the original line, which is a low, and you can see it's cut and it's got a rut, but it's narrow and it's quite tricky to get your balance right. So people are actually choosing to go for the more off-camber inside line. It's wet grass. Seems like a riskier option, but it is straighter. So it's like less traction, but less need to be finesse with your balance. Yeah. So it's like you have to have your balance fore to aft good, so the tire's gripped. Oh! Yeah, actually it is pedaling, you just have to pedal. Low line is all about side to side balance. High line is about fore aft balance to get the tires to grip. And it seems like riders are preferring the more direct fore to aft balance rather than the kind of tightrope walk. Let's show you that fore-aft balance visually. So in between the two axles at the center line, this rider's center of mass is just behind that, and it's in this Goldilocks green zone, the not die zone, where it weights the front and rear tires reasonably evenly, and that's what dictates your grip. If the rider was to move their center of gravity or weight back, they would put more weight into the rear wheel and less in the front, and that can cause the rider to wash out the front wheel. If they were to somehow move the weight all the way forwards and put more weight in the front wheel and unweight the rear, that would put them into this zone, which would wash out the rear wheel. So you've got to stay in that middle green zone. Next section, go! So we're now down at the last technical wood section, and there's yellow flags getting thrown up. So we talked about like where you put your wheels to find grip, finding edges to grip, how you position your body to influence the grip between wheels, and now this corner here, it's a flat right-hand turn, it's loose, there's roots. Let's get a bit more into the braking. So, everyone knows or has heard, don't brake where you need grip. Don't brake in the corner. But it's not that easy. It's not that simple, because sometimes a corner is so steep that you can't let go of the brakes. You let go of the brakes, you're going to have a real bad time. And this one, it's really hard to actually scrub all the speed off before you actually come into the corner. People coming over the crest, they're braking inside guys. So we went inside at the start and made the slippiest bit as hard as possible. Intriguing, I'm intrigued. So people come over the crest, they do their hard braking coming up to that first yellow tree. And then in an ideal world, at the yellow tree, off the brakes. And you do not touch them the whole way across this traverse, all those roots and everything, you do not brake. But if you let go of your brakes up there, actually you'll pick up a bit of speed. It's not steep, but you will pick up speed, and then you might find yourself being too fast here. So the important thing is that riders that do this well will not brake hard once they get past that yellow tree. They'll just tickle them if they need to. So it's hard, race braking, heels down, weighting the bike evenly, scrub the speed, and then off the brakes through there. Bruno, you dastardly human, that was lovely. Let's show this braking visually. So the key for this section is the red is the hard race braking, the orange is the light comfort braking, and green is fully off the brakes. And if this is the line that the riders are taking, this blue area has support. There's grip there, you can brake, you're not going to wash out. The purple area has no support. It's off camera, there's roots. That's the tricky bit. So riders are going to come into this and do the hard race braking actually in the turn, because there's grip there, there's support, and that's how they brake really late. They can then let go of the brakes on the super slippy bit to carry speed and allow the bike to grip. But some riders might come in too fast and just tickle the brakes just to control the speed in this orange zone before letting go of the brakes. The important thing is brake hard, brake late, and then just don't brake hard on the slippy bit, and try and carry as much speed as you can. So we're at the very, very last steep technical multi-line choice bit of woods right at the bottom, and yeah, there's stuff going on, there's things happening. So we're going to get the old dartfish camera out here, we're going to ghost this section, we're going to see who's applying everything we've talked about best on this section, because this is all about your braking, your confidence. If you're tentative, if you lean back, it's not going to go well. So, who's doing this bit good? Let's go have a look. If you don't brake down here, you go too fast. And actually, there's almost not enough grip to not go too fast, especially when it just started raining. So the important thing down this bit is there's braking zones where you can get your braking done. And it's anywhere there's a compression or anywhere where there's not a load of roots and mud. So like in all the little compressions down here, that's where riders do their slowing down, get set up before they go over the next crest. The ones that get it really good are the ones that have the confidence to not slow down more than they need to. So in each of those compressions, they'll slow down just enough, but rather than it being fast, slow, it's like they try and keep a consistent speed all the way down. And it requires confidence. The faster you go and the more you maintain your speed, the better the tires clear the mud and the better the bike works. So there are lines here, you know, I'm stood on one of them, you're coming in over this stump. This line is really quite direct. Riders that are going around the stump, there's a lot of roots, and it's easy for the bike to get upset coming into the next bit. But the stump, You can think of the stump going over like a big drop. It's almost like having to do an extra turn, except you take that turn to flip it up. It's like you're going, you know, it's more distance. Lots of turns, more distance, takes longer. Lots of bumps, more distance, takes longer. So a lot of riders are actually coming over this and maybe slowing down more than they need to, and the people that are going around are already gone. If you're going over this stump, you've got to go over it fast. You can also go around the stump super fast, and this is the main line that most people are doing. And then after that, you can choose to go straight over the crest and into the low line down the next section, or hit the scoop and then funnel into the middle line, or you can turn super tight onto the high line. Whichever of those lines that you do, the upper one actually is more than just one line. It's super wide. You can choose to go a bit more inside. You can choose to go a bit more outside. There's room to play with to set you up for the next section. Whatever line you do around the stump, there is also another one straight over the top of the stump. And you can see as you come in, you can go straight over the top of it, and it's super direct, much straighter, but it is a big drop. There's a compression, and it's hard to commit to doing it fast. Going round the stump is easier, going over it is straighter, but it's hard to know which would be faster. And there's a super inside that we saw no one really make work very well. Actually, one guy did it all right. And then there's two other lines. There's a fully left, wide to the pads, hit the scoop at the bottom, and then there's a middle line over 2 steps. Or it can be one very big step with an extremely overcommitted turn at the bottom. That was nice there from Ronan. So let's do a visual representation of these lines. So this wider line, it's consistent, it's what most people are doing. It's got good support at the bottom. This inside line, super off camber, but look how direct it is. The middle line down that orange one, big steps that are hard to see and they don't look that big from here. So this wider line, the green one, it is the longest line. So you have to go the fastest to make it quick. It's also the steepest entrance, which causes issues, and it has the narrowest target to hit. The reason that's a problem is when you come in fast, you actually take off over the crest, land next to the tree, and you've got this narrow target between the two orange lines that you have to hit. It's very hard to do. The middle line, the orange line, it's got some stumps on it, it's got some big compressions, and it's got a tight turn at the bottom. Those stumps are numerous, but the middle one is the only one you really need to worry about. The reason you got to worry about it is it's actually a step. There's a 2-foot drop off of it, and that's a problem when you come in fast because you take off, land just before it, compress your suspension, rebound, and bounce down into the next corner. Very hard to do fast, but as we saw, some people are actually just jumping over it, so it's not even a problem. The other line is this inside line. Now, it is a tight entrance. It's super off camber and there are some really shiny roots in it, but it is the shortest way down the hill. The tight turn at the entrance means that you cannot carry a lot of speed into it, and down at the bottom, it is practically impossible to find grip because of that off camber shiny root section. Whichever one riders take, it's going to be tricky to do it fast. So let's have a look and see which one was quickest. So we've got David Capello. He was the only person I managed to film doing that inside line, and I accidentally slipped and kicked the tripod, so the dartfish comparison might not work, but he got that clean. And we're going with Thomas Ollier. He was over the stump as well, but he went to the wider line and he got it super clean, barely slowed down over those crests. So let's compare the two and see which was fastest. Here they come, over the crest. The dartfish craps its pants, but come on, yes, it's got it back. Right, they're neck and neck as they go over that crest. David is onto the inside line, and look how straight it is, but Thomas is motoring around that outside line. He's definitely carrying speed, and as they come to the turn, it is neck and neck as David gaps back into the main line. Round the corner, it could be anyone's game. Out of the corner, who is that? It looks like it's David Capello by 0.22 on the inside. Good job. So he is going to go up against Loic Martin. He went round the stump, over that crest, and that was a fair bit of speed. So we're going to put him against David Capello, and the software didn't work, so we've had to jank it from the middle section down. David is on that inside line, but you noticed Loic was already going over that crest. So that meant he went round the stump faster, and you can see he's already ahead as David gaps back into that lower line. So that faster top section from Loic has meant he is in front, and he's going to take it by quite a bit, 0.66 with the speed around the stump. Now, let's take him and we're going to put him against Ronan Doon, who had a sneaky line, and look at that gap. So he went super close to the stump on the way in, super direct, and then gapped. So here they both come into the section. Ronan was super close to the stump there. As Loic goes around the outside, they're really close. As they get to that compression and Ronan pulls, he doesn't slow down. He can't slow down because he's pulling for the gap. And now he's going at a ferocious speed as Loic rails around the outside. They hit the corner. Ronan is so committed and he's out in front. But actually, Loic looks like he might even be catching him up a little bit. They go into the corner, round the turn, coming out of it, and it's only just Ronan done by 0.16. And that is a risky maneuver for 0.16 of a second, but World Cups has been won on less. So ghosty of the day goes to your boy, Ronan Dunne. Good job. Another successful day, just harvesting content off the hill. It's an honest day's work. I've enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something, and stay tuned. We're going to have a story of the race after the race, obviously. You should probably watch the live feed as well. It's going to be a good one, especially because it might rain on race day. And we're also going to do the Corners for Doe video. That should come out just after the race. And yeah, we're going to go and tie clips for 8 hours now and make a video in a bit. See you later. Yep, it's not a penis. I didn't draw that. It wasn't me.